All right, since I'm going to save this for posterity, I don't expect anybody to join. I'm in the middle of doing some honing. I picked up a razor that will be used for the 14 shootout. And so I just turned on the live stream so that it could be recorded. This is a Filarmonica Especial. Let's see if I can get you to see that. Maybe you can see that there. This has been restored. The actual new razor would have etching on either side that's very musical on either side of the Filarmonica here. Yeah, so it would have etching on either side of the Filarmonica. This has been restored, as I just said. It is a 7/8. It is, it does not have a date on the back, so it's pre-1950. So this is a generation 1. I intend to hone this on my list of 14s. This one gets an Escher edge, and so I'm preparing for that. I'm going to go to an 8,000 grit, and then get a good 8,000 grit edge, and then I'm going to transfer to the Escher for the final finish. I'm going to, because I'm doing that with all of the 14s, I'm going to joint this edge, which is weight of the blade, flat on the stone, pulling and only taking off the very apex. All right, so this stone has been flattened. I'm also, for this series, making use of the Shapton glass sharpening plate, the flatness that this plate gives. There's a benefit to that, especially if you're using very hard stones, like these Shapton glass stones. I noticed this benefit especially in doing mirror polishing. I found that I could really feel and make use of the flatness that these provide, and they don't chew up because of the channels. The diamonds don't really chew up the surface the way something like an Atoma plate does. And I'm not sure I would notice it for a razor, but I've done a lot of mirror polishing on bevels and other surfaces of knives, and I definitely noticed it there. So I'm just taking advantage of that, and just going to make that a constant for this series. So let's get going. Hello there, Dolomite. How are you? Yeah, I think it's just the two of us for the moment. This was very unplanned on my part. I just literally hit record. So I'm just now getting going. We've just, as you saw, I just killed the edge on this razor. This is a Filarmonica Especial. I think the full title of the razor is Especial para Barbas Duras, which I think loosely translates to special for tough beards. It's definitely a full hollow grind, and perhaps the blade is a little thicker as it gets down towards the edge. It does not appear to have I can't really tell. If it has a belly, it's a very, very imperceptible one. I'm sure someone who knows more about the history of these things than I do can weigh in at some point, probably in the comments. So yeah, so I'm going to do this in the way that you see me do all of these. I'm just going to I've taken the edge off on this stone, so I'm going to bring the edge back. I can feel I have very light pressure, and you can see, hopefully, the undercut is looking exceptional on this razor. Just so the edge is already into the stone. May as well. I'm just going to really accentuate the scratch pattern on the bevel here. I'm going to do that with additional slurry and pressure into the stone that way. Pushing with my fingers, the fingers here are pushing back into the blade and not into the apex, so that I'm getting real benefit of the scratch pattern. I'm doing this to do whatever abrasion I can do on the top of the bevel, and also shaping on the top of the bevel with this 8K stone. Want a little bit more water here. Oh, cool. Well, I timed it here on the east coast of the U.S. I'm not sure where you are, Dolomite. Here on the east coast of the U.S., it's about 6 p.m. That would be 1800 Eastern time in long. What is it? Oh shoot, can't remember his name. Leon speak. Long hauler or something. Shoot. All right, concentrate on this a little bit. Long haul tanker, yeah. In long haul tanker speak, that's 1800 Eastern time. And I'll do the full thing. 1800 Eastern time, September 29th, 2025. All right, let's see if I have successfully created an edge here. We're not going to leave this 8K until it has a exceptional 8K edge. Oh, let's grab a new one of these. Oh yeah. Well, that's absolutely silent. Very nice. I'm going to push it backwards on the, take it backwards on the Escher anyway. Here is the Escher stone. Move that over here. And let's flatten it. Not sure you'll be able to see the pencil marks, but I can see them. So I'll tell you when they're all gone. Again, using the extra capability of this flattening plate. the way I use it is with very little. I just put even pressure, but not hard pressure. I don't want to dig out the material from the surface. I simply want to sort of wipe it away using a scrubbing motion. I have a little bit of pencil marks on each end. And with this stone, I use a good deal of the stone, so I'm going to work until they don't have to all be gone, because I won't have the edge on the very ends of the stone, but I do want to have most of the pencil marks gone to indicate that I've got a nice flat surface, and I'm definitely getting there now. With natural stones, it often makes a big difference in my experience, to get down to a nice layer of material in a natural stone. They do tend to have layers, and some are just better for sharpening than others. So the other nice thing about it is, once you find a good layer, this stone I had to do that with. Once you find a good layer, you can stay there for a while. Okay, let's start here with the Escher. This will be the finishing stone. Ah, you're on the West Coast. Yes, you do have to get a 14 dolomite, no question about it. They are the 13. I have a Gen 3 13. That is exceptional. The Gen 3s are hit or miss, but I managed to get a miss. Hey, Devin. Yeah. This is a real Escher. I've just flattened it using the Shapton glass plate, and it's got slurry on there. Otherwise, I'd turn it over and show you the back. But this is a real one. You can take my word for it. Hi, Alex. How are you? Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I know I've mentioned this before, but I became a convert to slurries many years ago. I think 15 or 16 now. I really didn't see the value as much then as I do now. And a guy named Ken Schwartz, in a conversation, he and I had a number of long, boring to anybody else, but fascinating to us, conversations about honing. We didn't always agree, but he was certainly willing to chat at length about pretty much any topic, so we enjoyed. He was on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, but we enjoyed chatting, and he came up with this idea for sharpening difficult steels using a specialized slurry. I thought it was completely worthless in the conversation on the phone, but I'm so often wrong, and so not confident in my own opinions, that I thought it would be worthwhile to actually try what he was suggesting. And it worked so marvelously that I basically used slurries on stones from then on. So I don't know, 16 years now that I've been sharpening on water stones. This is already feeling great. I came off the 8K with a very, very nice edge. So this, and I'm probably knocking that back with the amount of slurry that I have. But this is I'm using this much slurry because this is part of the 14 shootout, and I want to feel an Escher edge. I don't want to feel an Escher edge or an Escher stone that's mixed with an 8K synthetic. So I'm taking the edge back, making sure that the entire bevel has an Escher scratch pattern, and which will ensure that the apex, that scratch pattern goes all the way to the apex, and that's what I feel when I shave. So this will be next up in the shootout series for shaving. I was completely surprised at how good that Olympus shave was. It felt comfortable, but sort of unsurprised. I mean, it felt comfortable, but nothing special while I was shaving. But when I started checking between passes, I realized, wow, I'm getting a really close shave here. And I did. I got a very close, very comfortable shave, and the skin feel afterwards was exceptional. So, yeah, there's some magic in that stone. Okay, I'm going to catch up here. Alex says it's very good to be able to pick up hints thanks to the internet. Yeah, I agree with you. I pick them up too. Yeah, well, good for you. Good for you, Alex, picking up straight razor shaving as a result of watching YouTube videos. I think if you're going to take up shaving as a hobby, that at some point, absolutely nothing wrong with exploring the whole DE and single edge world of shaving. I think there's greatness in all of that. The whole soap thing and brush thing is really worthwhile. I was visiting a very active Redditor yesterday and giving him a little instruction in how to hone straight razors, and he has one of the most amazing brush collections that I have ever seen. It was just an absolute pleasure to see his brush collection, and you know that's part of the hobby, collecting and enjoying whatever you want. Yeah, Alex, there's a lot to learn, but you know, at the base of it, it's progressive. I've been a wet shaver only for a short time, 4 years now, and I'm going with very light slurry here. We're going to go light slurry, water, and then light or no slurry with ONR to finish this up. I'm pretty sure we're in good shape edgewise, but you know, I have a video going here, so nobody wants to listen to me talk. Yeah, we're very good shape edgewise. It's pushing in effortlessly. We're already pushing into the cloud in terms of keenness, but the goal here is excellent keenness, and that whatever Escher feel I can get out of this stone. And so I'm doing, when Dolomite joined, I was on the 8K, and I'm doing on this stone what I did on the 8K. I'm putting pressure back into the blade, away from the apex, to flatten, get removal on the back side of the bevel, and to promote scratch pattern on the entire bevel. I'm just going to do a little of this. I'm not using a ton of pressure to do this. Now I'm just back to, you can see I've got incredible undercut here. And that's just flowing. And so now I'm simply going to do enough enough cleaning at this level as I can to get any burr and to do any blending that's necessary. And I'm going to dilute a little bit. And then we're going to hit it with the ONR, final frontier here. This is a Generation 1 dolomite. Here you go. Here's the evidence that this is a Generation 1, made before 1950. It does look. No, this has been refurbished. This Especial seal should have. You won't be able to see it. I can only see it at certain angles, but there should be etching that goes out on each side and above and below the gold wash, and that etching is very musical on this razor, and you really can't see it, and it's a bit over polished. I was quite concerned when I got it that it had been so over polished that the edge wouldn't hold up, but the edge does seem to hold up. So it's certainly not a new old stock razor. It's just in my view, I mean, it's a 14, so I'm completely happy to have a 14, right? So I'm not complaining, but I would almost prefer to have a less perfect looking razor that that was in good, where the blade was in good condition, but it showed its age and its character a little more. But that's just me, you know. It could easily be argued, you know, why should you care about somebody else's use of the razor? It's just, you know, just how I roll. You can see I have a very thin layer of ONR and slurry going. I'm doing almost no removal of material at all. This is mostly me getting any little bit of burr that might be there cleaned up. I want a very nice outline on this edge. I want it to be keen, obviously. It's already keen. So I want it to be keen, and I want a very nice outline for me as a daily shaver and as a very low angle shaver. All of that is important. All right, let's see where we are. Let's see, I better catch up. Oh, interesting, dolomite. Well, I mean, however you get here, congrats for becoming a straight razor shaver. As I started to say, there's absolutely nothing wrong with DE and SE razors. They have their own techniques, and there's a lot of history and fun involved with that side of shaving. But if you're going to do shaving as a hobby, you know, my hope would be that at some point you get into straight razors, because it's a different world, and in my view, extremely worthwhile. All right, let's see where we are. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's, oh, sorry. I'm terrible about that. I get carried away. I forget about the camera. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so that's insanely keen. That is insanely keen. Wow. All right. Well, I don't think, and I haven't stropped it yet. So I will, let's see, we're at 24 minutes. I'll try to go get a microscope image on this and put it up into the live stream. So I'll be away from here for a few minutes. I think you can still hear me though. There's a bit of preparation involved to even get under the microscope. I have a special blade, a special towel or method that I use for cleaning the very apex because I want it clean, free of all kinds of, free of any debris, tiny debris that might be there. All right, so now I'm mounting the razor, putting it in its mount. Yeah, I'm not mounting the razor. I'm putting the razor in a mount. And let's see here. Now I'm trying to get the apex orthogonal at 90 degrees to the optical axis. Trying to do that. And now I'm starting to look at the edge. And it's looking pretty good, but I'm kind of surprised that I have some black spots on the bevel. And I had these before. I thought for sure they would come off. I think this is the second honing I've done with this razor. And only one black spot, so hang on, I want to try to get the edge a little bit better in the frame here. All right, let's take take one of those. Oh, shoot, hang on. Gotta label it. All right, now we can make sure we have it saved. I'm sure there'll be nobody there when I come back after this, but we'll give it a shot. Now I save these. I'm pretty, okay. Oh, and here we are. New folder here. What are we looking at? 9/27/2025. All right, finally, we're going to save this thing. And next, we're going to see if we can find it and include it to the stream, which, who knows? Who knows if we'll be doing that? All right, that takes about 4 times as long if I'm talking and doing all this other stuff. All right. Hang on, I'm going to put the chat away. Slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. Okay, there we go. That hopefully you're seeing that. Somebody let me know if they're seeing the Escher edge. I think for an Escher edge, it looks pretty darn good. It tests incredibly, and so I think I'm going to use it for the next 14 shootout shave. I've never shaved with Escher edge on a 14 before. Here, let me. You've had a chance to look at that. Oh, good. Thank you, Dolomite. Glad to see you're seeing it. Yeah. Well, remember now, this is a natural stone, Alex, and so it's not going to be ultra polished. This did polish the edge very well. Here, I'm going to go back to so you can see the stone. This did polish the edge very, very well. As you can see, it has a very tiny, let's see here, a very tiny bevel surface. And it's not, it's polished. It's sort of a sandy polish. It's not a ultra shiny polish the way you would get from a synthetic stone. What I'm really happy about is the smooth outline, especially at 800 to 1 magnification. That's what I really want to see, is that really, really smooth outline. And then I also want to see the scratch pattern going all the way to the edge to show me that I have some texture, and that'll be the texture of this stone, because we really worked at that. Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you all for showing up. Really appreciate that. On a moment's notice, you did show up, and so we could have a little bit of a chat. I'm going to let you go. It's 6:23 here, 18:23 here on the eastern side of the U.S. So I got to start thinking about cocktail time. I hope you all do too. Have a great evening, everybody. I'll see you in the